Hello listeners, fuckers, dudes, and dudettes. Welcome to episode 4 of GrumpyXSunshine. That's not 3 X's, but we do come with a parental advisory. I'm Storm, aka Grumpy if you couldn't tell.
I'm Lady, aka the Sunshine. Hello.
So today we're gonna do some pyramid shit. Lady is gonna go with Pyramids of Giza, and I am gonna go with just a general overview of the Egyptian pyramids. So we do have an updates and corrections this episode. First one from our ghost stories. There was the sister that had moved in with her sister. Okay, the sister was actually an older sister. Found that out. An update from Wendy Booze and Flesh Joggers. So, Storm did not mean to say Junimo Ash. She meant to say Jupiter Ash. I was just really excited for the Stardew Valley update. And we recorded these super out of order and super early. So, and then I also want to correct episode 1. I mentioned that Lady gives me the option to do things, and I think it's more accurate because we talked about it later. Lady actually gives me the option to say no to doing things, and I value that so much about you.
Oh, you're
yeah.
welcome. I always try to make sure people have the option to say no, because I deal with it, not just with, like, my own friends and everything, but, like, not that anyone does it on purpose, but it's really hard to, like, ask someone of something, but making
Especially
sure
a
that
people
you were,
pleaser.
like,
Especially a people pleaser.
Oh, yeah.
Like, asking a people pleaser to do something, they're almost always gonna do it.
Right, so, like, I always want to make sure they know that they can say no. Like, I'm not saying that you have to do this. I'm not going to be mad if you don't do this.
Yeah.
It's just something I want to do, and if you want to do it, that's great. If you don't, that's also great.
Yeah.
We don't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But being a people pleaser, I like making sure that people know that they can say no to me, because I don't always know that.
I don't like being told no. It's a very toddler view of me. It's a very egotistical view of me. I don't like being told no. I don't think anybody likes being told no.
No,
but
no one likes it.
But, like, I make it very hard to say no to me on certain things. And I'm working on that slowly, but, like...
Yeah.
It'll come when it comes. It'll come with age.
It will come with age. You just gotta grow up.
That's rude.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna start off the episode. Mine's kind of confusing. It's not really confusing. I just make it confusing.
Do you remember learning about the pyramids? Just real quick.
Oh, no.
I remember doing a 6th grade project about writing our names in hieroglyphs, but that's the base. Like, that's it.
I really only remember, like, doing, like, a report or, like, a project on hieroglyphics.
It's
and,
it.
like,
yeah.
Egyptians, but, like, not pyramids or really... Like, I understood that the pyramids were meant to be, like, a mausoleum or, like, a tomb.
Yeah.
Like, I know that. But all of the other information I have about the pyramids is from, like, Indiana Jones, and they're, like, super booby-trapped and cursed and...
Oh, mine's from my dad. Because he used to watch the Ancient Aliens TV shows. And was obsessed with the pyramids and shit. But we'll get into that. But
Oh, yeah.
So, Lady.
Alright, so, okay. Giza. Okay, there's 3 pyramids in Giza.
Okay.
And then you have the Sphinx. Okay.
Okay.
Alright. So there are 3 kings that the 3 pyramids were built for. Khufu, Khafra, and Menkora.
Okay.
There is also another king mentioned. His name is Jadafre.
Okay.
Okay? So the order of all of this is Khufu, right? He starts it off. He is the 2nd king of the 4th dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So then... After him, he was succeeded by Jadafre.
Okay.
Okay. So one of his oldest sons, Jadafre, succeeded him and took over the throne after Khufu was done.
Did you almost just say Jafar?
Yeah. So after Khufu retired, died, probably died. Anyways, Jadafre took over.
Okay.
And it's assumed that the Great Sphinx was made for Jadafre.
Okay.
Then after Jadafre, it was Khafra.
Mm-hmm.
Khafra is Jadafre's brother.
Okay.
Okay. So then Khafra takes over, and Kaffa gets a pyramid. Whatever. Khafra's son was Menkora.
Okay.
Okay. That's my understanding of this so far. Those are the people. It's gonna get confusing. Get out your little chess pieces. It's okay. Okay. Alright. So, the Great Pyramid, the oldest and largest pyramid, was built for Khufu. He was the second king of the 4th dynasty. And his reign, as well as his son's Khafra, was described by Herodotus, whatever, a Greek historian. He described it as 106 years of oppression and misery. But
that's rough, man.
Well, the reigns and like what we know is it's very poorly documented. So it could have not been. I mean, why would these people
it could have just
build this massive pyramid for someone that made them miserable and like, you know?
It could just be ancient Greece saying, "Hey,
yeah, fuck Egypt."
Yeah.
Basically. Anyways, so it's poorly documented, and Khufu's reign is actually suspected to have only lasted around 30 years. Herodotus gave it 50 years, and another ancient historian estimated about 63. The 50-year and the 63-year estimations are actually from like misinterpreting sources.
Okay.
So they were reading and misinterpreting what the readings were saying, misinterpreting whatever like they were deciphering.
Yeah.
And they assumed it was 50 and 63 years for Khufu, but it really was only like 30.
Okay.
So, again, not much is known about the reign or his successors and sons' reigns. But the pyramid base averages about 755 feet. And the original height is believed to be 482 feet.
That's really fucking tall.
So a football field
Okay.
is like 100 yards, 150 yards, something like that.
150 feet, 100 yards.
Oh,
right?
It's 100 yards, 150 feet. I don't fucking know. Anyways.
No, it'd be 300 feet.
Would it be 300? Look it up.
It'd be 300 feet because 3 feet in a yard times 100 because it's 100 yards. It's 50 feet each ways. Or it's 50 yards each ways.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got the 50-yard line.
Yeah. Okay, so a football field.
It's 300 feet.
Is 300 feet.
Yeah.
So that's 482. It's like a football field and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's really fucking tall.
It is very tall. So the second pyramid, the middle pyramid, was built for Khafra, which is Khufu's son. He is assumed to be the 4th king. So Khufu is the second.
Mm-hmm.
The third is Jadafre.
Mm-hmm.
The 4th is Khafra.
Okay.
Okay. So he is the 4th king of the 4th dynasty and the second throne successor. That just means Jadafre took over the throne before he did.
Okay.
Okay? So it's largely held in modern Egyptology that the Great Sphinx was built for Jadafre. And unfortunately, with Khafra, like his father, not much is known about his reign or even Jadafre's reign.
Mm-hmm.
So the middle pyramid measures 707 feet on each side and was originally 471 feet tall. So the southernmost one now, the last and kind of least of the pyramids, was erected for Menkora, who was assumed to be the successor of King Picurus.
Okay, there's a lot of names flying around right now.
I know, I'm sorry. So King Picurus, I don't really know much about him.
You know that meme where, like, the guy is trying to explain something and he's, like, pointing to, like, a whiteboard with a bunch of string? Yeah.
From It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I don't know what it's from, but
it's a good... Yeah.
That is the meme I'm thinking of right now, and you were trying to explain this to me, and I am just not getting it.
That's me. Okay, anyways. So...
Point to more things.
Menkora. He gets the third pyramid, the small pyramid.
Okay.
Okay, he gets that pyramid. So, he was assumed to be the successor of this other King Picurus.
Okay.
But according to archaeological evidence, he was actually kind of 100% succeeded. His father, Khafra. So... Like I said, it's very poorly documented. I don't even think it was poorly documented. I think we lost a lot of documentation and we misinterpreted a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So, at first we assumed it went Khufu, Jadire, no. Why do I keep messing up this name? It's like right there. Jadafre.
Okay.
Khufu, Jadafre, Khafra.
Mm-hmm.
And then they thought there was someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And then Menkora.
Okay.
But there's King Bakaris. Ignore him. Menkora succeeded his father, Khafra. Okay?
Okay.
So King Bakaris is kind of unnecessary to mention there, but we thought he succeeded
So we have
Bakaris. But
we have dad, son, other son.
And then son's son. Grandson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So again, like his father, not much is known about Menkora's reign. This one measures 365 feet for each side, and the height is 218 feet. So from my understanding, most of this information about ancient Egypt, just in general, is guessing. It's very educated guesses, but they're most likely 100% correct. We just won't ever know for sure due to the lack of...
We can't time
the
travel.
Language barriers, the loss of documentation, the lack of documentation, the...
hyperbolizing.
Right.
This, that, and the third. Yeah.
But all three of these pyramids were completely stripped of, like, anything in value. And so any of the gifts that were placed there originally are gone. So, after a king dies...
Oh, grave robbers went in.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was more than just grave robbers. It was governments.
Yeah.
Everything. We go in there and we just take everything and we don't think about, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But, so, after a king dies or whatever, or someone dies, a pharaoh, a lady, someone important dies, you get buried in the pyramid.
Okay.
You would get gifts left for you.
Yeah.
So all of those gifts are gone.
Yeah.
All of their treasures are gone. Everything that they were buried with are gone. Even the fucking limestone. People were stealing the limestone of the fucking pyramids.
Yeah.
And I really hate people. The Great Pyramid, which is Khufu's pyramid, is now only 451 feet tall.
What was it originally?
482 feet tall.
So it lost,
like 30 feet.
Jesus.
So, Khafra's only has the outer limestone at the tippy top portion.
Okay.
And they stole... So that means they stole the rest of the limestone that surrounds the pyramid.
They started peeling it off like an orange peel.
Yeah. For what? Like, you're just gonna walk up to this fucking mausoleum and take rocks?
Yeah, people would.
It's weird. It's fucking weird. They just take everything, the stone that surrounds it, everything inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's like going up to someone's grave nowadays and taking their fucking flowers.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
It's so fucked up. Like, so fucked up to me. Okay, so now that we have a backstory on these pyramids, we're going to go into some of the conspiracy theories.
Okay.
And everyone's heard it. A lot of people love it. Aliens built the pyramids. Or at least helped build the pyramids. They were involved in the pyramids.
You said that so fast. They were involved in the pyramids.
a lot of the ones that I've heard, like my grandpa believed that the aliens built the pyramid for communication. It's like a satellite dish, basically.
Okay.
So they came down and kind of like gave them the idea and kind of like helped them out with it. It was like, here's like the specifics, the blueprints. This is what we want you to make. We'll reward you. And
you guys make
this way we can communicate. Like, we can keep an eye on the planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because there's pyramids all over the world.
Right.
Oh my god, they're all over the world.
I do just want to mention that, so during my research, I kind of stumbled on a couple of articles, the main one being saying that it's a racist theory.
Okay.
And I want to just make it clear that, I'm not trying to be racist. You know what I mean? Like,
we think that the ancient Egyptians actually built the pyramids.
Yeah.
We think that they were smart enough to build the pyramids, and value ancient cultures were absolutely amazing.
Right. Absolutely. I don't want anyone to, like...
This is just a fun, quirky theory.
Yeah, it's just one of those conspiracy theories that, like, everyone hears about, everyone talks about.
Yeah.
it's kind of fun to imagine that, yeah, aliens did come down and help us build something cool, you know, but I don't really...
Now that NASA has confirmed aliens.
Right.
We would love to be able to interview them.
Oh, and another point that I feel like I should mention is that ancient Egyptians averaged only about like 5'6" in height.
Okay. My height. Storm's height.
Storm's height. I'm a little taller than Storm, but not by much. Okay.
I'm not short, damn it.
So yeah, but actually, that's the only conspiracy theory that I have, is that aliens built the pyramids for communication and surveillance.
And then lady has a very, very highlighted, extremely large text that says, Storm, do not read this next part.
Okay.
So I have not read it.
So, you know, aliens were like, build these pyramids. Okay. And it was kind of like a win-win, in quotations, a win-win situation. These pharaohs got these really big, fancy tombs in return for these aliens being able to surveil and communicate our planet. Win-win, right? No. It's a fucking lie. It's all wrong. Okay, let me go to this. Stop it. Please.
Lady's having technology issues.
I'm always having technology issues. Okay. So, we have proof that the, we know for sure aliens were not involved at all in the building of these pyramids.
Okay.
We have archaeological proof. Okay. So, in 2013, excavators in Egypt's eastern desert on the Gulf of Suez, uncovered the world's most ancient harbor installation. Here they unearthed the cache containing the oldest extant. Whatever. They found a unique and unprecedented testimony relating to the world's most famous monument, which has inspired and perplexed visitors for almost 5 millennia, the Great Pyramid of Giza. But basically, they go into saying that we have testimony now.
Yeah.
Of how the pyramids were built.
Okay.
What went into them, how they did it, how they worked on it. Okay, so in these records, which are known as the oldest known explicitly dated Egyptian documents, it talks about the story of a middle-ranking inspector, whatever, and his 40-man naval gang. He was the captain of Team Great, an elite adaptable outfit. Why did I say outfit? Anyways, that transported the grunt, in quotations, labor force and maintained the waterways around Giza. They ferried limestone blocks up and down the Nile, provisioned and managed stores at the plateau, and undertook expeditions to Sinai and Punt, lands, if not, of milk and honey, of turquoise myrrh, and much-needed copper for stone working tools. The builders of the gigantic pyramids of the 4th dynasty must have amassed more copper than what was being accumulated anywhere else in the world. So, basically, him and his men represented they did not represent slave labor, but the employment of highly skilled, well-rewarded workforce. Team Great worked in proximity to power, also performing royal guard duties and religious rituals, and were part paid in luxury cloth. It's also estimated that 4 teams like MERS may have spent 20 years transporting just the facing stone of the Great Pyramid. But, so this is just basically like this diary of this guy who actively worked on the pyramids.
Okay.
It was not slave labor either. These people, that they were employed to build the pyramids.
Okay.
These were skilled
workers.
Blue-collar workers.
Okay.
Highly skilled. They were being paid for what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
Okay.
It took many years, yeah, but, they also had technology that we haven't even considered yet. I mean, obviously, it's hard to imagine something so long ago.
Yeah.
But they worked around it. They had boats and stuff bringing in the limestone.
Yeah.
It'd be transported off of that using ramps of sand so that it can easily glide.
Yeah.
The pyramids were lined with ramps of sand so that it can easily
glide up there.
And, this is proof. that it was not any little green men that came down and helped. This is a full testimony of building the pyramids.
Okay.
And not once does it mention any
little green men.
Little green men.
Or
any
gray or
weird looking people, any people that do not belong in this era, any people that aren't from here.
Okay.
It's all skilled workers that were paid to do a job. Mm-hmm. So we have proof now. Like 100% proof.
Yeah.
Unless, conspiracy theorists are always going to figure out a way to not have proof, yeah. But whatever. That's all I got on Giza. Sorry. It's a little confusing.
Very.
With everything. And it's been a little bit since I've actually read over these articles I picked. Like Storm said, we record these episodes a little out of order. So it's kind of hard to keep up.
So far, pretty out of order.
Very out of order. It's just hard to keep up with everything.
With Lady in nursing school and Storm working 40 plus hours a week, it can become pretty difficult. So, but yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting comfy to hear more about Egypt's pyramids.
Okay, so I have a few. I don't think I have any theories written down, but let's start off with Egyptians built pyramids for about 500 years. Their civilization lasted 2,000 to 3,000 years.
Yeah, that's a long time, especially in compared to other ancient civilizations.
Yeah.
I mean, you always see those posts and stuff that say great nations only last 150 years, right, before they fall.
Not only that, but when you look at a timeline of when things were done, and a timeline that's actually piled up of okay, this was done this time and this was done this time, and Oxford was built whenever, that shit is crazy to me.
What really freaks me out is when they talk about Anne Frank and Martin Luther King. Mm-hmm. Same time.
That's crazy.
They were alive at the same time.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Because in your head, it happens at totally different times.
Right.
Because that's how you learn about it in school. You learn about one section, and then you learn about another section, and then you learn about another section.
I've been having, existential crises all the time.
Okay.
Recently, a lot. I just keep thinking about, how we're just a blink.
Yeah.
We are just a blink of an eye in all of space and time. We are nothing.
Oh, you're just now having these crises?
I've always had them, but they've become very prevalent.
Okay.
And, there's been times where I'll just be driving down the road, and I'll be looking at all these different cars, and I'll be before, I just saw it as a car driving. Now I'm, actually really thinking about the people inside the car. They're going on with their own life, and I'm over here thinking I am the main character in my story. But so are they. You know what I mean? They are a main character. They have so much stuff that could be going on right now. We just don't know. Oh my! And it's been freaking me out lately.
Have you ever witnessed a side character? An NPC in real life?
No.
Oh, there's some Reddit stories that we might dive into about people finding NPCs just living life.
I would love to talk about that.
Yeah,
these days.
That'd be great. That might be a good headcanon one.
That would be a great headcanon one.
Oh, look at that. We were trying to figure out our next headcanon.
Wow.
Well, the next one's gonna be Roswell.
Oh yeah, we're talking about aliens now. We're gonna talk about aliens the next time too.
Yeah. So maybe in a couple episodes, maybe in a couple headcanons.
That's a month from now.
Yeah, it is a month from now. So
no.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, keep watching. Keep watching us. We'll get
keep
better.
Listening.
We'll get better at this.
Hopefully.
You never know.
As time goes on, we'll eventually learn.
At some point, we'll be okay.
Yeah. So their civilization lasted 2,000 to 3,000 years, but they only built pyramids for 500 years.
Wow.
That is a small section of time that they built pyramids, right? So Egyptologists aren't sure why they stopped building them. There's no 100% certain thing of why, because history in it wasn't necessarily documented, or we haven't even opened the scrolls. There was just recently a scroll that came from Pompeii that was opened.
Oh.
Like, for the first time within the last, I don't know, like 5 years or something. Found and opened. And it, I want to say Socrates, but I'm not sure if that's the right Greek philosopher. Aristotle, maybe.
One of them.
One of the Greek philosophers, and it titled The Last Days of His Life.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just opened from Pompeii.
Well, did you see they're getting closer to finding Cleopatra's tomb?
Jeez.
But Cleopatra said, no man will ever find my burial site.
And now females are coming in.
It's a woman archaeologist that is finding her tomb.
Yeah.
And the people have been going against this poor woman.
Why?
Well, okay, it's like the type of permits that you have to be able to dig or to do really anything at these sites takes a while to get. And you have to have proof, right? Well, they had found these like tunnels that went into some like an ocean or something. And I don't know the areas. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But anyways, they found like these pathways that lead out to this place, and they're like, well, you know, obviously we're getting closer. And they're assuming that her tomb was in a part that was basically like got taken over by the ocean.
Okay.
So it's all underwater now.
Mm-hmm.
So they got the permit to go diving, which you're not allowed to do anything when you dive. You're only allowed to dive to gather evidence to be able to do stuff.
Yeah, you can look, you can take pictures, but you can't take anything up.
Well, instead of giving her 6 months, like usually people get, I think it's like 6 months, she only got like 2 weeks to do this dive.
Man.
But she did it, and she got the proof that she needed.
She is betting against all odds, and she's coming out winning. Damn.
Yes.
I love that.
Everyone's going, I think it's because they want a man to find the tomb. If I'm being honest, I think it's more misogynistic.
Probably.
It's got, like, in my opinion, like, it's gonna be for misogynistic reasons.
As far as the world has come, we still have a lot of misogyny.
Yeah.
It's what the world will be in 10 years, in 5 years. I'm kind of excited to see it and how
we start changing and adapting.
Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, there's going to be some shitty things that happen.
We've been so focused on, like, physically developing.
Yeah.
That we've completely taken the emotional development out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't worried about becoming better people. They're more worried about becoming, what's the word? More powerful. They want the things that make them more powerful. They don't care about the people that make them more powerful.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Like, instead of, like, treating everyone equally and understanding that we're all just people, and instead of, like, taking the time to, like, understand that and focus on not even just equality, but equity. I think it's called no. It's
equity.
Yeah. Where it's like,
equality is giving
everyone the same thing. Equity is giving everyone the things that they need to get to the point where
of being the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I give out cheeseburgers, but to the guy who hasn't eaten in 3 days, equity would be giving him 3 cheeseburgers instead of the 1 that I give everybody else, which is equality.
Yeah. So, like, my favorite thing is the fence.
Yeah, with the stools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of giving everyone a footstool when they're all different heights, you give them the stool that they need to be able to see over the fence.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, instead of focusing on, you know, making the world a better place in terms of people, like, in terms of, like, love and equity and understanding and, like, peace, they want power. They want power. They want the tools that make them powerful. We want to advance in science and technology, and which is great. I would love to advance in that too.
Yeah.
But we don't need to worry about that right now. Like, we're at a point in time where I don't think we need to be that focused on those things. I think we need to be more focused on treating people equally and saving the people that are going to make you more powerful. Because if you treat people right and you give them the tools that they need and the tools that they need to thrive and be successful, then you're going to have more people that are happy to help you.
I think the disconnect in my brain comes with, like, to me, fair is fair, right? Fair is fair. No matter how fair is fair. You know what I mean? So, in my brain, I'm already thinking fair is fair. I'm obviously going to give the guy who needs 2 cheeseburgers the 2 cheeseburgers.
Right.
And anybody who tells me, hey, why'd you do that? Like, that's not right. Whatever. Fuck you. I'm handing out the cheeseburgers. I'm gonna do what's right instead of...
Right.
You know what I mean? We're speaking of cheeseburgers, I could probably use one right now because I haven't eaten yet today.
Storm!
Listen!
Homie, come on.
Listen, I was working on this.
Yeah, you get very...
I woke up, I went into the zone.
When you're in the zone, you get very, like, forget about... You go into Sims mode.
Yes. Yep.
You're like a little Sim.
Dude, I had to pee for 3 hours because I had to focus on this because you were coming over. I did not pee till you got here. I peed once in the morning when I woke up, and that was it.
Jesus.
I had to pee for hours.
Anyway, sorry we went off on another tangent. That's going to be a...
We got distracted. Anyways, Egyptologists aren't really sure why they stopped building them, right?
Okay.
So, early archaeologists used to get this mummy curse, okay? And the mummy curse was essentially, like, they would get super, super sick. Some of them would die. When discovering these pyramids and going into these pyramids for the first time. AKA, they didn't let the shafts for air out before going into them.
Oh, yeah, because you're just putting yourself in...
Yeah. In stale air, no oxygen. This stuff hasn't been moving around.
Right.
Like,
and now you're coming in there, moving everything around. There's hundreds of year old bacteria in there that we haven't even been exposed to yet.
Yeah. So, that's what that quote unquote mummy's curse comes from a lot of the times. They think that there were more pyramids than what they actually know about, and they know of at least 118 extensive ruins of pyramids. Okay? They know about a shit ton of pyramids. But they think that there's way more that they do not know about.
Oh yeah, there's gotta be. I mean, think about the fact that, like...
Things were destroyed by other people, like...
Yeah.
Other, civilizations coming in and trying to take over land masses and stuff like that.
Just weather in general too. If they're not like as massive of structures as the pyramids of Giza are, they're not gonna withstand.
Or just not properly like taken care of or something like that. They didn't know about them, so.
Right.
Or maybe one of them was designed as quote unquote cursed and they just left it alone and left it to weather.
Right.
Okay, so the Egyptians used limestone for their pyramids, and limestone is a sedimentary rock mainly composed of calcium carbonate, which is CaCO3, may contain magnesium carbonate and elements of clay, iron carbonate, felspar, pyrite, and quartz. Okay? Spiritually, it amplifies healing and purification, helps connect with the inner child, as well as grounds and centers, and it works well for the root chakra. Okay, one of the things that were built was the Great Sphinx, which you mentioned. Also made with limestone, was built at the location of the Great Pyramids of Giza. Built in the 4th dynasty with the pharaoh Khafre? What'd you say?
Well, the first one is Khufu. The second one is Khafre.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either built by the pharaoh Khafre or his older brother, Joffrey, I think you said?
Jadafre.
Okay. Because the way it's spelled is Redjedef.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
That's who it said it was.
The one that I have is Djedefra.
Okay, yeah, that's the other spelling that it had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it had like 2 different spelling things. So, the pharaoh Khafre or his older brother, and it's said to commemorate their father. So, like,
okay, yeah.
If you look at 10 different websites, you're gonna get 10 different answers. That's what we're going with. Okay. They aren't sure when the nose fell off or how it fell off. Some speculations say it was from troops shooting it off with a cannon, but here's the thing. There was documentation of it before those troops of whatever war, whatever soldiers were coming in. Documentation stated that it had already fallen off.
Oh, okay.
So, they're not 100% sure when.
Well, we don't know with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so they don't know which pyramid. They can't quite exactly say which pyramid was the first. But they built them up and down the Nile River. But one of the ones that they think was the first, which, again, not 100% sure, is about 10 miles south of the pyramids of Giza in a place called Saqqara. That's Saqqara. Saqqara. Okay? It was constructed about 100 years before Giza, and it's 200 feet with 6 stacked platforms building it up.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like when you get the building blocks of Legos, it's like 6 little stacks of Legos. Okay? So, first geometrically true pyramid was the Red Pyramid, also known as the North Pyramid. Okay, it's a little further down. Said to have been built as a step pyramid, so like the first pyramid, and then filled in to create a flat, true pyramid surface.
Okay.
Okay. It's called the Red Pyramid because of the reddish hue of the blocks that were used, even though they didn't always appear red because, like you said earlier, shit was removed. And it kind of looks squished down, and it's built at a larger angle because they were afraid of it collapsing in on itself.
Okay.
Okay. And then a little bit further down from that one is the Bent Pyramid. And it goes up like you're building a normal pyramid, and it like bends in a little bit.
Oh.
And it has like this squared off other pyramid. It goes in at a different angle.
Okay.
Okay, they think it was built like that so it didn't collapse in on itself.
Okay.
So most of the pyramids are built with shafts inside of them, and most have text throughout the shafts of hieroglyphics and stuff like that. And they're all typically built with 3 chambers. We have the subterranean chamber, which is built underneath the ground. We have the queen's chamber, built about in the middle. And then we have the king's chamber at the nearest to the top. Okay?
Okay.
So when they were building these, they were like, oh, if the king dies or something, we can put them in either the subterranean or the queen's, whichever is finished, before it's done building, and then we can finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All early explorers of the pyramids reported that when they found them, like when they found the undisturbed pyramids, the walls and ceilings were covered by about an inch of salt, and gypsum was coming out of the ceilings of the queen's chambers. Okay.
Gypsum was coming out of the queen's chambers?
Gypsum.
What's gypsum?
I'm not 100% sure.
Is that the spikes? I did the motion. You know how they always say
It's not like spikes or anything like that. It's like it's like a mineral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's like it's kind of a rock, but not quite a rock. It's like more mineral-y, whatever stuff. So the pyramids in Saqqara have hieroglyphics in the subterranean chamber. Okay.
Okay.
These specific hieroglyphics are known as the pyramid texts. So these ones specifically are the only ones that talk about a spiritual belief that is the eternal soul. Okay? And it's known as the Ka.
Okay.
Okay. So, and essentially these hieroglyphics talk about how the Ka would travel to the stars after death, or that the pyramids would elevate them so the pharaohs would live eternally with the gods.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, the rest of these hieroglyphics and all the other pyramids, this is the one in Saqqara is the only one that talks about this. The rest of the pyramids all have hieroglyphics that talk about the pharaohs that built it, and like the ones that were supposed to be buried there.
So is this
stuff like that?
Is this like how the Vikings would make the pyres? And you would have like the little pyre, and you burn the body so that the ashes float up. You can send their spirit up. But instead of doing that, they put them up in the pyramid. And they have to keep all of their organs because you go to the afterlife with your organs, right? The pharaohs, yeah. So the pharaohs were put at the tippy top so that they're closer to being elevated.
Yeah, in the king's chamber.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, here's where we get into a little bit different sort of things.
Okay.
In 1994, there's a Belgium engineer, Robert Vivaldi, and a British historian, Adrian Gilbert. They publish a book called The Orion Mystery.
Okay.
Becomes an international bestseller. And essentially this book says that the pyramids are meant to match the belt of the constellation of Orion. Later becomes the Orion constellation theory. Okay.
Orion?
Orion. The hunter?
Orion. Orion's belt. He has the sheep over his shoulder and the spear on the other side. I thought it was Orion. Orion?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just fucking said it wrong.
It's okay. It's Orion.
Yeah. Orion's belt. So the Orion mystery. I've been doing too much today.
It's tired. Okay. No, you're fine. When you were saying it before, I kept thinking you were meaning Orion, but I didn't know if it was like... I mean, it could have...
It's because I read these fucking books.
That's okay.
And... Fuck, what are the books even called? Oh my god. It's from the Twisted Sisters on TikTok.
I don't even know who that is.
There's Orion dates this girl that he calls Blue because she has blue hair. Oh. And they're twins. And I think the other girl's name is Tori. Vega. The Vega sisters. You don't know the... It's surprising that you don't know the book.
I have no clue what you're talking about. No.
Lady's a reader.
Yeah, I am a reader. Sometimes. I've been only reading textbooks now lately, so... Anyways, go ahead.
So, Orion. So, the Orion mystery and the Orion constellation later becomes known as the Orion constellation theory. Okay. Then in 2012, Philip Coppens takes the idea of the Orion constellation theory and then theorizes that the pyramids were built so that the shafts were aimed right at the Orion, and instead of just the souls, that instead the entire bodies were transported along with the souls.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that everything was like sucked up into the heavens. Okay. And he cites evidence that there's multiple examples of untouched burial chambers in the pyramids that when archaeologists open them for the first time, completely untouched, there are no bodies, even though they were sealed, and no grave robbers or anybody else touched them. No bodies inside. Empty.
Was there any, like, cloth or anything left behind?
Nothing. I don't have his sources.
Okay, yeah,
but
that's fine.
Yeah, multiple untouched burial chambers, no bodies inside.
'Cause, okay. I'm trying to think of, like, theories.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ways to, like, disprove that. I mean, for one, no one could have been buried in there. It could have been kind of like a scapegoat kind of thing, for one. It could have been like a, haha, you think that's here, but it's actually not here.
Yeah.
It could also be...
essentially that they're monuments instead of tombs.
Right. There could have also been something... That's what was freaking me out for a second. I was like, what is that sound?
You also keep touching that.
It's not making the same noise.
Okay. But it's making noise.
The only other thing that I was thinking of was that the bodies could have, decomposed. But even then, there would have been bones left.
Yeah.
Because bones don't, like, erode like that. Especially not when you're sealed in a tomb.
And then it would have been considered a body found.
Right. So...
yeah.
I don't know.
Dude.
My biggest thing is it could have just been like a fake out type thing. Like, we're gonna make you think that something special's here, but
we're getting there, babes.
Okay. All right.
We're getting there.
All right.
Because after all that happened, in 1998, okay, an engineer, Christopher Dunn, published a book, and this guy's theory was that the pyramids were built to give ancient Egyptians power.
Okay.
Okay. So this theory starts with the word pyramid. Okay. Which essentially, pyra means fire and mid means middle. So essentially the word means fire in the middle.
Okay.
So modern engineers look at the internal structures from an engineering standpoint. And an American engineer hops along called John Cadman. He comes along in the late 1990s and supports this theory, and he takes a look at it too. So these two engineers are going back and forth, okay?
Okay.
So how would this work? Essentially, water would flow in from an ancient lake at a higher elevation into the pyramid through a shaft. Okay? Then water would flow through the Queen's Chamber and exit out an outflow tunnel into the Nile River. So this guy Cadman builds this mini version of a pyramid with a 500-pound block of cement to study the fluid dynamics that would happen inside the pyramid. Okay? When he does this and he starts filling it up with water, the pyramid starts pulsing like a heartbeat. Okay?
Oh, that's something that's in that article that I was reading from. They talk about how they use the Nile as like a hydraulic system.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, they could have used it to get power. That's so wild that they were using like hydraulic energy.
Yeah, I know, right? So Dunn then explains it and says that the pyramids essentially transforms vibrations into energy that makes power.
I want to know what they were powering now. Okay.
We're gonna get there.
All right.
Okay. And that the stuff in the Queen's Chamber, which, remember, the 2 inches of salt and the gypsum,
Okay.
were actually a result of the chemicals of some sort of acid and a watered zinc put in the Queen's Chamber to create more power than the base build of the vibrations. So instead of just water, they're now adding chemicals to create what would amplify these vibrations to make them bigger and give more energy.
Wow.
Yeah. So, along with this, the salt and stuff, there's also quartz found in the center of the pyramids that acts like a battery, holding all that energy at the center. So now you have a shit ton of batteries all over the place because there's we found 118 of them along the Nile River. So now we have 118 battery packs. Ginormous, mega battery packs.
Wow.
Yeah. So, put all of this together, it theorizes that ancient civilizations had use of electrical power.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're getting there. Once the ancient Egyptians built enough pyramids to power all of ancient Egypt, they didn't need to build any more pyramids, and that's why they only built pyramids for a few hundred years. So that small stint that they were actually building pyramids out of their 2,000 to 3,000 years of civilization, it was just to build transformers, essentially.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually so cool. I like that better than Aliens.
Yeah.
I like that so much better than Aliens.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
so dope.
It's so smart, too.
And that would make sense why they were, like, paying skilled workers. It wasn't slave work.
Yeah.
They were paying contractors to come and build power lines. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Because this gets better.
Okay. I'm so ready. I'm so excited. Okay.
So there's two things. There's one thing I want to mention first.
Okay.
Okay, which is the Baghdad battery.
Okay.
Okay, do you know what a Baghdad battery is?
No.
Okay. So, I know it's not found in Egypt, but I do want to mention it anyways. Because of the possible power source. So, it was actually found about 50 miles away from Baghdad. Okay, it was not actually found in Baghdad. It consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, an iron rod in that copper cylinder, and was most likely filled with some sort of weak acid. So, something like vinegar.
Okay.
Okay. And with that weak acid, it would have produced about 1 volt of electricity.
Okay. Well, that's not a lot at all.
No, not a lot, but still.
So, okay.
And they're actually, just want to mention, they are mentioned in Mythbusters in episode 29. So if you want to go look up and see more about Baghdad batteries, you can go look at them.
So I want to preface this that in high school I went to a trade high school, whatever. And there I learned I was in electrical technology, so I learned like electrical, like electrician stuff, like commercial, residential, industrial. So while learning about that stuff, you can survive being struck by lightning because lightning is all voltage, it's not amperage.
Okay.
Amps is power. So a 5 amp outlet can kill you.
Okay.
It's way, like, statistically more likely to kill you than getting shocked by lightning is. Because lightning has so much less amperage.
Okay.
Voltage is just how fast something moves.
Okay.
Amperage is how much power it has behind it. So I can hit you fast, right? I can throw a punch really fast. But if I don't have power behind it, it's not
light
gonna
as a
hurt.
feather. Yeah.
Amperage is the power behind it. So
so
lightning has...
What would you need to power a light bulb?
Amps.
Okay.
Either a ton of volts or a little amp.
Okay. Now these batteries range in sizes. Okay. So you can get one that's like 1 volt, and I think there were some that were like 20 volts or something like that.
Yeah.
But they were also found in rooms that the rooms were full of these.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how the electrician side of that would work, but...
So, volts they have power.
Okay.
So, amps can kill you because it messes with the electrical function of your heart.
Okay.
Right? So, 1 amp can disrupt the function of your heart and stop it.
Okay.
1 volt can't really do that. It's gonna hurt, but it's not gonna disrupt anything. There's not a lot of power behind 1 volt. You would need to know how many amps is in that.
Okay.
Volts are important because that's just telling you, like, oh yeah, energy's moving fast through this.
Okay.
But unless you know how many, like, amperage that's producing, you won't really be able to know, like, what it can... I mean, I'm sure other people can definitely tell. I only did 2 years of this back in 2017, so...
Okay.
I don't know too much about it. I know how to power a house and wire a house to power a house. I don't know, like, I'm not great with the theory behind it. I kind of... I hated doing it. I did it only because someone pissed me off. So...
Okay.
It wasn't something that I actively pursued, but...
But we can watch a Mythbusters episode later, and we can learn about it.
Sure.
We could do that together.
Yeah.
Anyways, but... So... What were they powering? There's this thing called the Dendera light. Okay. Dendera light. And the Dendera light, there was this artwork, okay, of these sort of light fixture-esque things with the cable and the filament in the Temple of Hathorn. And the Temple of Hathorn is in Dendera. Okay.
Okay.
So, Egyptian artworks, light fixtures, cables, and filaments.
Okay.
Okay. So, an Australian engineer named Walter Garn decides to test to see if he could build one using only the materials that were available in ancient Egypt. Do you think it worked?
Yes.
It did. Yes, it did. Okay. So, the only thing was, though, is he used modern electricity instead.
See, if it depends on how they're making their light bulbs, too.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, if they're making their light bulbs to revolve around being powered by voltage instead of amperage...
Yeah.
You know,
it's a possibility.
They obviously figured something out, right? Like,
yeah. But there's, like, several artwork pieces that depict these so-called light fixtures.
Right.
So, but, like, yeah.
I can imagine it was very dim light. But it's still better than walking around with a candle all the time and having to constantly make candles and shit like that.
Yeah.
Less of a fire hazard.
Yeah.
Probably more of a fire hazard.
And if they're using the voltage instead of the amperage, okay, that pulsating beat of the pyramids wouldn't hurt anybody.
No.
And then they just use the ground to, quote-unquote, plug it in.
Right. And then any
Which,
copper.
like, that's crazy.
They were using a shit ton of copper, too. And copper's a grounding element in electrical.
Yeah. We figured out the pyramids, guys.
Yep. It's fine.
It's not aliens, it's electricity.
Yeah. That's actually so cool. I like that so much more than aliens, though.
I like it even better than tombs. I really don't think they were used as tombs.
I think they were kind of used as tombs. I think you could use something like...
I think maybe, like, near the pyramids was used as tombs, but not actually the pyramids.
Right.
Considering there were no bodies found.
And some of them.
Most of them. There's a good portion of them. Most of them weren't.
I don't think all of the pyramids were used just for tombs, but I think the big ones, they're like, well, we gotta do something special in this, obviously. You know what I mean?
Well, Giza is the one that did not have any burial artifacts, anything like that. So
they probably just saw all these other ones being erected, and they're like, that's cool. I like the shape of it. I like that.
But yeah, so...
I don't think aliens care about us.
No, I don't either.
I don't think they're even going... I think the only reason why we have so many, like, we're seeing stuff is because we're advancing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why they care about us now. They're trying to see if we're a threat.
Understandably. I didn't think about it like that.
Like, I only think they care to, like, look in on us just to see if we're a threat. I don't think they care about us at all, though. I don't think they care about us enough to come down and build a pyramid.
I think that they would be interested in us like we're interested in outer space or the moon or the ocean. You know what I mean?
I really hope they're not interested in us like that.
Yeah, that'd be kind of scary, but that's how I think they're interested in us.
I hope, in all essence of the word hope, with all of my body,
with your full chest,
are nothing like us.
Oh god, yeah, no, I hope so. I hope they aren't. No.
If they're anything like us, especially like personality-wise,
oh god. That's
when I'll start praying to a god. Is if aliens are anything like us.
Yeah.
Because no, thank you. No. We'll be dead. The moment we become a threat to them, we'll be dead. We'll be annihilated. And they wouldn't care about killing us.
Yeah.
If they're that advanced that they're able to travel to us and spy on us for decades at this point.
Yeah. I think they just kind of think that we're just kind of dumb.
Yeah, I think they think that we're just this not a threat. We're not a threat at all.
Mm-hmm.
They see that we're advancing and they're trying to see if we will be a threat. And I think that's the most
maybe they're like, oh, they're advanced enough that if we try to attack them,
we'd have a bit of a fight.
Yeah. And we don't want that.
And I think maybe they're also trying to see. I think I see all those like writing prompts on Reddit, like your.
I love those.
I think it's very like that, where I feel like they are at a point where they're at peace with other worlds around them. I think they're at a point where they have.
I'd have to do more research. I'd have to do more research on aliens, because there's alien. I almost said alien people. There's alien groups that you can look into that maybe we'll look into eventually that have different types of aliens, different species of aliens, stuff like that, how their whatevers work and stuff like that. So maybe we can look into that for an episode eventually.
Right.
So yeah, do you want to do Weird Thought of the Week?
Yep.
Okay, so Weird Thought of the Week is, if someone blessed the rains everywhere else, along with Africa, we wouldn't have a demon or vampire problem. Do you hate me yet?
No. Africa still has demons, so we would have a demon. I feel like they just adapt.
I feel like if somebody blessed the rains in England, there would be no vampires in England.
Oh, it rains all the time there.
That's
the rains in Seattle, bitch.
Yeah, Seattle, England, and Ohio. I mean, you can get rid of a lot of vampires and a lot of demons there.
But what vampires and demons are actually living in these areas?
I mean,
Seattle, yeah, because the sun's usually blocked.
Well, Ohio too, because the sun's usually blocked, and same with England, because the sun is usually blocked.
I have a beef with Stephanie Myers.
Okay, and?
There is no way that those vampires would be able to, like, function even in Washington, even on really cloudy, terrible days. they would still be shown because sun rays still make it through the clouds. That's why you have to wear sunscreen even on cloudy days.
Yes.
It's still just as vibrant. So, like, they would still
if that is
sparkle.
your only gripe with Stephenie Meyer...
There's a lot of stuff with Stephenie Meyer.
I was going to say, if that's your only gripe, you need to do some more research on it.
No, I'm talking about, like, on a...
That specifically.
On a specific, like...
We're not going to get deeper into that.
Yeah, no. But, like, they would still sparkle all the time.
Yes.
The sun is still always touching them.
Yes.
And in Alaska, it'd be even worse.
Yeah, they would only get, like, 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get, like,
they would sparkle in the moonlight, too.
Yeah.
Because it's just a reflection of the sun.
The moonlight is just a reflection of sunlight.
Yeah, so they would just be sparkling all the time.
I don't think vampires sparkle.
Personally, hot.
Sparkling people?
Yeah. Oh, I love glitter. I love glitter so much. I love glitter. Anyways.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, Storm loves glitter and... The pyramids are energized. So thanks.
Pyramids are energized.
So thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, hopefully this isn't a terribly long episode. Maybe I can edit this well. It'll be great.
Yeah.
We'll have a great time.
But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you. Be kind. Love yourselves.
And maybe hydrate, you little fuckers. And
Bye
bitches.